And we have a super special day today. It's not Hot Tip Tuesday. It's Six Figure Success Giveaway Friday. So I'm really excited. A group of 29 amazing entrepreneurs have come together to help you build your business to six figures and beyond. And today we'll be live streaming throughout the day so you can meet each of the contributors and learn a little bit more about the treasures that are tucked away inside the giveaway. So our first contributor today is Christine Campbell. And say your last name so I get it right.
Rappin.
I'm sure that people butcher that all the time. And you've told me 100 times and Virginia has no short-term memory. So, hey, what are you going to do? Yeah, so Christine is one of my absolute besties. We vibe immensely. And she's just a brilliant business strategist who believes that business should be elegantly simple. And so I'm excited to bring her to the stage today. Christine, we've done summits together. We've done lives together. You've dropped knowledge bombs. We
did a book together.
We did a book together. So, you're no stranger to me, but let's make sure that folks that are interested in the giveaway and potentially need the brilliance that you're offering can get hold of that. So first off, just give me a minute or so. Who is Christine Campbell Rappin?
Well, I grew up in the world of business, so I am a straight shooter, slightly sassy on occasion, business strategist who's actually going to help you get through the BS to actually creating results, because it was heartbreaking to me watching good people I know give up on their dreams. And I was like, business isn't as complicated as you're making it. And a lot of people are taking your money, convincing you otherwise. Mm-hmm. Let's have a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, depending on how you know me, and said, let me show you how to play the game, because I've played it for 30 years. And I've worked with a lot of companies everywhere, from the solopreneur looking for their first six figures to somebody of the biggest companies on the planet. And I'm like, it's simpler than you're making it. Let's help you get there. And truthfully, you need somebody to come into your space who's got your best interest at heart, that's going to say, this is how it works. And get honest with, what are you doing over there? It looks like you might be off track. How about a course correction? Because I really do want to see far more people, because small business changes everything. It changes our families. It changes how we show up. It changes how we give to our communities. It changes people that we serve, and it changes the people that we put money into, like the local grocery store. Mm-hmm. Big business isn't going to solve us and solve the problems we've got. We've got to have our dreams, and we've got to have pursuit of them, and we've got to see more success happening.
I love that. And personally, that I'm kind of a disruptor in my attitudes about things. And I actually think that entrepreneurship is the greatest power disruptor that exists on the planet. And I've seen it in our work with 10 by 3, how disruptive making poor people self-sufficient can be at the power structure level. So 100%. Although, it is political season, and I did not watch the debates last night on purpose. I do think that we owe it to ourselves. When we hung out the shingle, we knew we could deliver the goods. Like, we know we're a good accountant, or we know we're a great coach, or we know we're a great massage therapist. But when we hung out the shingle, what we neglected to realize was that 90% of our responsibility now was building a business. And we overcomplicate it. I'm the number one overcomplicator. I find myself asking on a daily basis, what would Christine do? And trying to simplify things. I do, and since I met you, my business has gotten infinitely simpler, right? I'm like, well, what's the simplest way to do that? Trying to use the 80-20, 80-20, 80-20. What's the 80% of this that is unnecessary? It's just fluff, it's filler, it doesn't cut to the core. And if you do that a couple of times, you kind of get to that 0.8% of the stuff that actually drives 99.2% of all of your effectiveness in business. And that's what you teach folks how to do. Can you share a little bit, not yet about your gift, but who is your gift for and who is your gift not for? So like, hey, if you're like this, you want my gift. If you're not like this, it might not be for you.
Well, the first thing is, if you're looking for clients, this gift is for you. because what people don't tell you is that your business will be built on strangers. And that if you start to get an inkling that that might be true, you're starting to think, well, my answer is visibility. And I'm not saying that visibility doesn't help you, but if you're visible in the wrong room who's not your next buyer, you are going to run out of runway. So first off, if you are looking for more clients and trying to figure out how do I find the needle in the haystack, this is for you. If you are completely sure that throwing spaghetti on the wall is the right answer, then this gift is not for you. And I know that when you're building to your first six figure, you have to try things, because I will tell you the answer to success is your business should feel like oxygen. And if it's not, then I get the let's try things, but you don't stay trying things forever. You've got to pick a lane. You've got to make some decisions. And being around me in any capacity is going to challenge you to make some decisions, because my ultimate goal, while it is client growth for you, it is that you are a capable business owner who makes decisions confidently and knows they can rock whatever wobble comes their way. Because I always say to my clients, two things are happening in the world. Wobble is part of it. You're either in control of the wobble, i.e. you want my gift, or you're not in control of the wobble and it's kicking your butt, in which case you're not ready for the gift yet, but come back around, because I will still be here in 5 years.
I love that. So if you're in try everything mode, that all of a sudden I'm thinking of Shakira, like try everything, like, okay, that's totally cool. If you're still in Sing or Zootopia or whatever that came from, keep trying, and that's okay, because a lot of us learn the hard way. But if you want to quit learning the hard way, you're bumped, you're bruised, you're maybe not broken, but you're feeling like there's got to be a better way than all of this trial and error. Christine has a wonderful gift for you where she has distilled her brilliance into a little small bite. So these are small plates of big ideas and small plates of big mentorship. What's on your small plate?
So it's a bundle, and it is about igniting your client growth engine, which is what I stand for, because I want you to create a system that means you know where your next client is coming from. And so if you are even somebody who's like, I feel like I might be in the sophomore slump, like I had some early success, I launched my business, but now I'm thinking, wow, it's been a while since I've had a new client. And you're starting to go, I don't know what I did to create a client. I'm starting to panic. Where's the next one coming from? This is going to really help you get clear and start accelerating. So the bundle is two things. The first thing is you're wondering, where do I find my client? I'm going to tell you, there's 25 places where you can find your client today that is working. It's a tactic, 25 of them. I am not, just to be clear, I am not advocating you do 25 things. You might try a few, but I'm saying I want you to find one or two only that say that's the thing that feels like oxygen. I can get behind building my business simply around this tactic. That's choice. It's choice number one. I said you're going to have to make decisions. It's a resource of 25 ways that are rooms and ways that you can build and find your next client. It's also got some real good insight on page 1, which is who the hell is the buyer that you're looking for? Because it's not all visibility. I said that matters. It's finding a buyer, and a buyer is a very unique thing. And you've got to know what you're looking for so that you can get really good at building the muscle that says, like a laser superhero, I see them in a spin. That is somebody who I might be able to serve. And you have now a plan to bump into them and slow the spin down, which is exactly what you need to do to start them moving towards your offer. So that's the first piece. It's an orientation. Pick your lane. Go play with a few. Settle on one or two. The second piece of it is, now what do I do? Okay, I got a plan, but I'm really scared to execute. So I'm inviting you to come spend 30 minutes walking through my brain. Ask me anything. Let's help you figure out your one next step. So this is about finding more buyers, because buyers are where money moves hands, because you create the ripple of result. And the big thing is you're going to have to get into action. Let's figure out what that one thing is that you're going to do that you can compound to really build an engine.
I love that distinction, because we have people talking about grow your audience. We have people talking about grow your list. We have people talking about build your network, right? There's all these things you can build. But at the end of the day, it's about buyers. It's about the exchange of value, and money is a measure of an exchange of value, right? It's just a stand-in so we don't have to barter 32 times to get what we want.
100%.
Right. So it's just a stand-in for that. And I love the concept of who's your buyer. And for coaches, consultants, small business owners, solopreneurs, how many do you need in a year to make your year? If you've got a medium to high ticket offer, you need 30, 40, 50 clients that you're going to serve throughout the course
most are
of the
looking
year.
for 5 to 30. And I said 5 to 30, like you need to get your head around that, because at one time you're like, oh, thank God. Like I'm not trying to do a million things. But it is still a plan that you need to have to find those 5 or 30 things, because the investment level is I'm now a buyer. And I think that it sounds like such a simple thing. And I will tell you, even really big multi-million-dollar businesses hire me to say, I think we've lost the plot, because you have some broad assumptions about it. And that's where you start. But you don't stay at the broad assumptions. You've got to really, I always think of it like an intersection point, like your buyer's on a continuum of life journey decisions. And you get to decide exactly where you bump them. And that's a choice you have to make. Again, the decision making is happening. You've got to choose that. And sometimes the biggest challenge I see with business owners is you stay moving and your buyer's not moving at the speed in which you are. And then they give up and find somebody else. That's disheartening. They're buying. Don't believe for a nanosecond they're not. My job is to help you see who you want to serve, help you find that intersection point, and then start making a plan to move them from curious to paid client. Because ultimately there's lots of reasons you want other things. You want visibility. You want to be known as an expert. You want a good network who gives you access, knowledge to help you do the job better. But to be clear, your business moves when money moves. And you've got to find the 3% every day. And I built my first business 1 hour a day. I'm not a unicorn. It's that real discipline around the things that actually create the revenue, and a choiceful activity that says this first.
I love it. So yeah, Christine, you are so smart about what I call what did I call? I called it the Leo effect, right? It's get a lead, engage it, make it an offer. Get a lead, engage it, make an offer. Get a lead, engage it, make an offer. Like as long as you're getting a lead, engaging it, and making an offer every single day, you know that you're going to be in great shape, right? If you're
100%.
Not getting a lead, you're not making an offer, or you're not engaging them every day, you're not making an offer, and you're not making a sale, you're not closing a sale, or at least trying to close a sale every single day, then your business is going to be hard. And most people are like, I got to build my website first. I need to write a book. I've got to build my
write an email.
I need to build my summit. I need to they're really down at the tactical level. When I don't know about you, but I'm sure on the 25, it's like, who are the buyers in your phone? Like open your phone.
Well, and this truthfully is the point, because, it's so fundamental, we skip it. It's so simple, we think we have the answer, and we don't have it in enough certainty. And when you're talking about buyers saying yes, certainty is an important part of this.
Yeah.
It is knowing where you're going, what you're going to do. And I always say what you control is your activity. And you get to choose your capacity. You get to choose how many hours you grow your business. But you get to control your activity because you don't control when they say yes. But what if I'm always in activity on the things that I know predict the yes, and I'm really intentional around it? The more offers I make, the more yeses I'll get. 35% is a really great close rate, which means not everyone's accepting your offer. So your volume has to go up, yes, but you've got to be intentional, because they're scared. Your buyer, let's just tell you this too, like they're strangers, but they're also scared because they've tried to solve the problem before. They've Googled it, they've downloaded it, they've maybe found a great resource in a giveaway, and they say knowledge generally is not the problem, because they can get knowledge on Google, Pinterest, YouTube, and find your platform of choice. The challenge is I can't apply it, or I can't apply it to create the results, which means they need support, and they're committed to the change, which also means they're aware it's going to be sticky and uncomfortable, but it's worth it. So you've got to find and get this ability to say, who am I looking for that is at the moment of decision that says this is worth it? Because that's really exciting. Like that is when you are creating impact, you are creating results. And what do we want? You and I want more people getting the results because that's serving. And that's how the power shift happens. It's, I am in control of this. I get to, yes, take uncomfortable action. But boy, with the right people, it feels like play.
I love it. I love it. Christine, one last question for you.
Mhm.
Giveaways abound, bundles abound, summits with lots of gifts abound. Like we're all sort of showing, we're at a bazaar, right? Or at a mall. We all have a little expo table. This is our expo table, and we're all talking about what there is. And this is really a way for you, the viewer, to just kind of take a walk through the expo and see what applies to you. What's your just one little bit of advice for utilizing and leveraging these kinds of opportunities for the aspiring and newly minted six-figure entrepreneur?
Well, it's going to be twofold. The first is that you need to focus on what you need next. You've got to find the one thing that you'll go execute. And it's not that you can't download resources, but think about the sequence that matters to the result, because I want you to create the result. Second part of that, when you're choosing through a bazaar what one thing you want to do, make sure you're clear that you're looking for something that is going to solve the problem. So I always say, like, when I design what I'm offering, which is this Ignite Your Client Growth Bundle, I am giving you open heart surgery instead of a Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a Band-Aid. At this stage, the Band-Aid is going to cost you to bleed out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
giving you the real solution, which means it's going to be something you're going to slow yourself down and say, this is my one next step. And I'm going to start to learn it, implement it. You're going to take advantage of all the elements. And my best advice is, you've come to a room full of experts. Please adhere to what the experts are guiding you. Don't pick and choose saying, I'm going to do step 1, but not step 4, because we're saying steps 1 through 4 are how you get there.
Right.
Follow the good guidance that an expert has given you, because they have experience that it's creating results where you are still throwing spaghetti on the wall. Execute the plan. You'll see far more results faster. Trust them to guide you.
I love it. Christine Campbell-Rapin, thank you for being here this morning on our Six-Figure Success live stream. And for those of you who are currently watching right now, we have 2 people watching live. One of them is Scott Conway. Hi, Scott Conway. And I'd love to know who the other person watching live is, which would be great. If you want to drop who where you're watching from into the comments below, and maybe one quick takeaway from what Christine had to share this morning. Scott says, your business moves when money moves. That is such an obvious fundamental that I don't really often think about it, right? It's just, business is when money is moving. So Christine, thank you for being here. I know it's early for you, and thank you for your amazing contribution to this giveaway. I know that the audiences of the 30 of us that are providing value are going to benefit greatly from your contribution. So thanks so much for being here. And I'm going to let you go get on with your day.
Have a great one, guys. Bye.
All right. So we don't have a guest right now, but I think, have someone coming on at 8:30. So what I thought I would do is go ahead and tell you about my gift in the bundle, so you can add that to your interest. So I'm Virginia Muskis. I'm the referral diva. Lots of people know who I am, but in case you don't, I started my entrepreneurial journey when I was probably in my 30s and decided to sell Mary Kay cosmetics so I could stay home with my children. And that was great until it was a direct sales epic fail. And I got this job with a Sylvan Learning Center. And the Sylvan Learning Center that I worked for wanted to get into the No Child Left Behind business. And really getting into that business was quite challenging, because in order to let people know that we were coming, that we were there, we needed to advertise. But the way that we knew how to advertise didn't work. The one thing I knew from Mary Kay was the 3-foot rule. I knew if I could go someplace, I could talk to people. So I went to the school districts where we were going to serve and started getting to know people. And then I met a woman named Natalie Jablonski, and she started talking about something called philanthropic marketing, which is that if you're going to do philanthropy with your business, if you want to make change and have impact with your business, make sure the impact that you're having is aligned with the purpose of your business in a way that makes sure that you're going to get some bang for that buck. So I went down into the school districts that we were going to serve, and I got to know pastors of churches. I got to know directors of community centers. I got to know directors of food banks. I found out what their needs were, and I tried to provide for their needs. I started creating connections. Oh, you have paper, you have a copier, you have toner. Why don't you all get together and make your copies instead of each of you going somewhere and spending money on it when you all have these dormant assets? So I started creating those relationships and connecting people who could contribute knowledge, resources, and networks to one another. And the more that I did that, the more money we made, the more interest people had in what we were doing. And then I discovered this amazing reality. And that is that every student wasn't my client, because not every student showed up to tutoring. And the only way I could capture the entire contract value was for students to show up. And I discovered that third graders always show up, because if they know that there's a ring pop or a granola bar waiting for them or a little bouncy ball, they were excited to receive that. And then they would come and they would learn. And then I discovered this other great thing, which was they were the ideal target because they could make progress quickly. It was hard to get a seventh grader to make a grade level or two of progress because they were very far behind, but it was easy to get a third grader to make progress. So that was the model. We got real specific about our target. We started messaging the way those third graders, those little elementary school students, needed to be messaged to. We really started to create a lot of value for people. And so when it all was said and done, we did like $2.5 million. So all of that to say, that's how my business was built. And I've distilled that entire 6-year experience where I generated nearly $7 million over a period of time from 2005 to 2011. I've distilled all of that knowledge step by step into the Business by Referral blueprint. And so this blueprint is going to walk you step by step by step through all of the pieces that you need to be able to help your network know who you're looking for. So when I was selling programs in the cities, the community center directors, the food bank directors, the pastors of the churches, they all knew that I was only pursuing, if you will, families with third, fourth, and fifth graders, elementary school level kids. And so they would refer them to me, but they were able to refer all the others to other vendors who were also providing them with things that they needed. So in the end, what ended up happening was I got what I needed, they got what they needed, and the other vendors got what they needed as well, because they became expert at helping kids of that level because they were getting lots and lots of them. So we actually up-leveled the quality of the service that we were providing. And then we were able to track. We were able to track and see how we were doing, where those referrals were coming from, which of those partners were sending us more people. And then we were able to train them even better to bring us more people. So in the Business by Referral blueprint, I'm going to walk you through this, what I call the 6 essential T's, 6 steps to really activating your network so that you can start having your network find those buyers, real bona fide buyers, and bring them to your door. It's the simplest, most ineffective lead generation source. because if you're going to even pay affiliate commissions, which a lot of times I don't have to, people just send me great referrals. But at the end of the day, when you're using your network, other people's networks to fulfill this need that you have for clients, you only pay if you pay on performance. You only pay when you get a client and when that client pays you, and then you share that with your referral partners or your JV partners or your strategic alliance partners. You revenue share, but you don't have to pay first. So you're really not gambling. And as an emerging or newly minted 6-figure entrepreneur, you know that the dollars count. So throwing money, trying to find leads is the expensive way, and we don't have dollars to waste. We don't have dollars to spare, and we may not have dollars to hire an agency to help us get those algorithms right. So the Business by Referral Blueprint is going to show you how to activate that network and make things happen. And my advice for fully leveraging the giveaway model is this: sign up. And thank you, Christine, dropped her, is that your link? Dropped her link in there. It's funny. I didn't think to have somebody like dropping links for me. Hello, I know how to do this, but I just pulled it together really quickly. So, go ahead and click on that link, and let's have you download the gifts. So what I recommend you do is download the gifts, and as you're downloading them, rank them according to, would this solve an immediate need? Would this solve something that's been on my mind, but I just haven't gotten around to it? Like, it's not on fire yet, but when it comes to the top of the list, I'm going to want a resource. And then the third file is, hey, one of my friends might benefit from this. So one of the great things about these giveaways is once you have the archive, when someone says, oh, I'm having a problem finding my right fit buyer, you can say like, oh my gosh, you know what? I downloaded a bundle in the 6-figure success giveaway that has some information about how to find your right fit buyer. And you can provide those resources as gifts of knowledge and gifts of support to people in your network, and that will strengthen your networking bond. So that's what I've got for you. And we're going to be waiting here for just a minute on our next gift, which I believe is, oh dear, Suzanne is coming in. Here we go. Yep. So we've got some people sort of waiting in the background. So for those of you that are my guests, what happens on Restream. So, hey, let me give you some back end information. What happens on Restream is that when you click join, it puts you into like a green room or a waiting room. And I don't bring people to the stage until they, oh dear. I've got a lot of people double booked here. Hello, just watching Virginia in the background here. So so when you click join, it puts you in a waiting room, and then I get to bring you on stage. And speaking of bringing someone on stage, it's Suzanne. So Suzanne, I'm hitting go. Are you ready? She's ready. All right, here she is. Hello, my dear. How are you?
How are you, Virginia?
I am so great. I am happy to be here and really, really, really very excited to meet you. One of the great things about some of these giveaways, which is really interesting, is that I don't always know everybody that is contributing, because we're all members of, drum roll please, the Infinite List. And it's a wonderful community where we come together and we collaborate and we support each other's giveaways, and we give the gift of brilliance through of the community to our communities. And I love this so very much. So Suzanne, thank you so much for dropping in here this morning.
No, I'm delighted. I'm delighted to meet you, and I love being part of Infinite List, and I'm so excited to be part of the 6-figure giveaway because it speaks to so many people out there who are trying to tweak whatever it is they're doing and get it that much better. And there are so many fabulous resources in the giveaway. So I'm delighted.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do is go in there myself and download all of them, and then I use them. Like, so I take your gift and I say, hey, Lucy, here's this gift that's going to help you with that. And then I CC you so that if Lucy buys your stuff, you knew it came from me, right? Or that you know that I'm promoting you, which, by the way, for those of you who are viewing, it is an act of service to your referral partners when you show them that you're promoting them. They don't know you're promoting them unless you show them that you're promoting them. So there's a pro tip for you when you are promoting other people's stuff, or what you can tag them in that. Yep. And let them know that they're being supported. So super excited. So Suzanne, there's 4 questions today in this little vignette that we're doing. Number 1, who is Suzanne?
Yeah, so I have been working with entrepreneurs for like 13 years now, and I primarily work these days. I've kind of narrowed things down to working with nonfiction authors, not helping them write their books. That is not my expertise. I help them market themselves after the book, and I help do Amazon.com bestseller launches with authors. So I'm really about the marketing side of things and helping authors integrate their messages. I find that one of the challenges a lot of nonfiction authors have after their book comes out is they get kind of muddled in their marketing language, because suddenly they have this feeling like, well, the book is what I'm supposed to be promoting, right? And actually, they're not promoting their book. They're promoting their bigger program, the thing that actually makes them lots of money, probably got them to the place where they were ready to author a book. But as I said, they get muddled in their head and they need to clarify their language. And so I help them do that in a way that, yes, highlights the fact that they are an author of a book, and that's an exciting thing. But also really keeping the focus on what they're selling that's much larger than the book, because that's where they're really going to make their money, not on book royalties.
Nice. I love that. Yeah. The notion that people are going to make a mint on book royalties is really, I mean, not even, would you say, like, not even Simon Sinek and they're not making their mint on their book. It's their book.
No, I mean, they're probably making more than most, right?
Yes.
But it's still probably not paying their mortgage. So really it's about, what that book and the recognition of the book affords them, which is, being able to get on stages, being able to speak to more people, that true thought leader recognition, right? Mm-hmm. And it's really about becoming that thought leader, or maybe you already are and you wrote the book afterwards, but tweaking the messaging within so that you're getting it right and having people connect with your teaching emotionally, not necessarily with the book emotionally, right?
Yeah, awesome. So one of the things that I learned from my friend Jay Facette is that one of the best ways to help people choose, I mean, we've got 30 gifts, so people have to choose. So right fit, who your gift is for this, my gift is for you if, and my gift is not for you if.
Right. So my gift is for you if you are trying to spend more time being on interviews and making money as a result of those interviews. This is about your core language, your core messages that you're sharing in interviews, and having those core messages make people want to pay you, like plunk out their credit card and pay you larger amounts for whatever it is you do for them. It's not for you if you have no interest in interviewing. It's not for you if you're focused in a different area of your business right now and you're not going to look to be on podcasts and promote your business that way for a long time. But if you are, whether you are a nonfiction author or not, the messages still apply and it will serve you.
Okay, so to be clear, I don't have to have my book done to work
No.
with you.
Correct.
But if I have my book done, then I really, really need your gift. Like,
Yes. And
like
especially-
burning a hole in the giveaway for you. If you've got your book, it's burning a hole.
Yes. And especially a lot of nonfiction authors will kind of do a virtual book tour on podcasts. And I've had a lot come to me and say, Suzanne, like I did that. Nothing happened. What the heck? You know, what the heck?
Right.
And I'll say it's probably because your language is muddled and you're not focusing on the right things in those interviews. And you only have a few minutes in an interview to really hit the target on those messages. So you have to be crisp and clear and know how to get them in, even if you're not asked the question you want to be asked.
I love that. I interviewed Bob Berg. Do you know who Bob Berg is? The author
Yeah,
of
absolutely. The Go-Giver. Yeah.
So I interview him and I ask him, I remember asking him a question. He goes, that is an interesting question. But the one I would prefer to ask is, and then he reframed, like he didn't answer my damn question. I was like, what the heck? And then I would ask him another question. He's like, that is also an interesting question. But you know what's even more interesting? What's more interesting is this point that I want to make. And now that you're saying it, I thought he was being a butt, personally. I found him very difficult. I found it as the interviewer who wants to be like in control of the conversation.
Yeah.
I found it really irritating that he did not answer a single one of my questions. But he did his thing and he made his point. And so now he wasn't rude. It was just frustrating.
And that's the thing, right? Like imagine being a political reporter, right? You never you might as well like ask what color is the sky, because they're gonna like spew out whatever they want to spew out, right?
Right.
And that's the thing. Like he did it, Bob Berg